The views and opinions expressed in the DILLIGAF podcast are those of the host alone and are not intended to express those of any other person, business, or entity. The DILLIGAF podcast is for entertainment only. These are my opinions and should not be interpreted as facts or advice. Think for yourself.
Keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh, yeah. I think that we've all had enough.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the DILLIGAF podcast, talking about anything and everything that interests me. If it makes me think, laugh, cry, scream, rage, or say, what the fuck, you'll hear about it. My name's Tom. I am your host. Been away for a little while. Had some stuff going on. Took a little vacation. Been working quite a bit at my regular 9-to-5 job, so recording new episodes just kind of fell through the cracks. I'm going to try and get back on at least a semi-regular recording schedule. But I want to thank everybody for checking out the show on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast from, or on TikTok, where I do post full episodes. And make sure you follow, like, subscribe, share, rate, comment. All that stuff really helps out the show. Make sure you're following on social media at DILLIGAF_pod on all social media platforms. And if you ever want to shoot me an email, it's dilligafpod@gmail.com. And you can find all that on my Linktree, which is linktree/dilligaf_pod, or scan the little QR code right there in the corner of your screen if you're watching video. So, get an interesting, very interesting topic today for my, I guess you could call it a comeback show. I've been gone a little while, but yeah, today we are talking about religion. And just religion in general, not a specific religion, denomination, anything like that, just religion in general, because religion has always fascinated me. I don't follow any particular religion myself. I think there's good stuff about, most of them. There's also bad stuff. And like I said, religion has just always fascinated me, just because of the way so many people can just blindly follow someone or something with no evidence, no proof, no nothing, just faith in their leaders or ancient texts that are the validity of which is questionable at best, that are written by people decades or even centuries after the fact, after the events they're supposedly talking about. It fascinates me that people can just put blind faith in something like that with no kind of tangible empirical evidence to back it up. And like I said, they rely on ancient texts that were originally handed down through oral tradition for years and decades and centuries before they were ever written down. And then they've been interpreted and reinterpreted and translated into a million different languages and translated again and interpreted again. And they're reinterpreted by anybody who reads them. And my thing has always been, with all of that movement going on, who's to say something over all that time was not lost or mistranslated, or just, since it was handed down by oral tradition for so long, something is bound to get mixed up or twisted. Like I said, who's to say something wasn't lost in translation somewhere along the way? Who's to say parts of it weren't just straight up fabricated? I mean, at best, it's a collection of stories that are meant to kind of tell people how to live a good life, I guess. I don't know. Some of the stuff going on in religious texts is, not good stuff. It just isn't. But Yeah, I don't know. It's just has always fascinated me. And one thing I will say about religion, and I will stand by this till my last breath, all religions, and I mean all, without exception, every religion that has ever existed, continues to exist today, or ever will exist, every single religion is a cult, without exception. Every religion is a cult. And what is a cult? Cult, and this is a definition, a dictionary definition of a cult: religious system or practice of religious veneration. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. It comes from the Latin word cultus, meaning worship or training or education. The French word cult, C-U-L-T-E, translates to worship. There's always some type of charismatic or influential leader who is very adept at swaying people to their way of thought. And that encompasses every religious leader ever. I'm talking Moses, Jesus, Muhammad, L. Ron Hubbard. I mean, um, what was his name? Joseph Smith. Every religious leader, everyone, including the Pope, including, I put them all on the same level as a Charles Manson, as a Jim Jones. uh, they're all on the same level to me. They're all cults because religion is about control. It's about obedience and control. Obedience to some deity or some person claiming to be a deity or claiming to be some kind of messiah or claiming to be in contact with a deity of some sort. And the followers are just expected to do exactly that, follow blindly without question. Serve your Lord and Master. No, I don't understand how people can just, again, blindly follow something like that. And don't get me wrong, there are good religious people out there. There are. Actually, I think probably a majority of religious people are good people. And I've always said, yes, every religion is a cult, but for the good religious people out there, if faith fills some need, some void in your life and makes you a better person and improves your life somehow, who am I to stop you? You do what's necessary for you. I have no problem with those people. My problem is with the people who like to weaponize their religion and their faith. And there's a lot of people out there that do that. Like I said, religion it's all about control and obedience. It was created by primitive people to explain the things that they didn't understand, i.e., nature. Oh, we don't know where this came from, so there must be some god or some, all-powerful, all-knowing creator. I personally accept the fact that there are things in this universe that I don't understand, I'll probably never understand, that we as the human race will never understand. We don't we don't know where the universe came from. We have ideas, we have theories about how it happened. We don't know why it happened. But to just blindly say, oh, there had to be some all-powerful okay, where did that creator come from? People like to say something can't just form out of nothing, but except for the creator. Like that's the exception to the rule. This one being came out of nothing. Sorry, I don't buy it. Like I said, Religion was created by primitive people to explain the things that they didn't understand and to control people. It was created to control people and tell them how to live their lives and to make them subservient and obedient to whoever this cult leader is that thought up this religious doctrine or whatever you want to call it. Because these religious leaders, they claim to be closer to God than the average person, so that means that everybody has to follow them. And again, they can't show any evidence of this. They can't prove it in any kind of meaningful way that they're somehow closer to God or Yahweh or whatever name you want to put on it. No, they just say, well, I can speak to God, or I'm the Messiah, or some crazy bullshit. And again, it's ridiculous to me. It's fascinating to me that people can just so easily bring people under their thumb and get that blind obedience and control over people. And when I talk about religious leaders, I'm not just talking about, people like the Pope that are the head of millions, in fact, billions of followers. I'm talking everything down to, a local pastor or a priest, any person that's in a leadership role in a religion. I'm sorry, you're a cult leader because you, for some reason, think you have the right to tell people that you can speak to God or you're closer to God than they are for whatever reason. I mean, you're just a person like everybody else. So I don't know. I'll never understand anything like that where people are so, again, so easily controlled and put under. Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is, I guess. But I, I talk about George Carlin quite a bit on this show. Of course, my favorite comedian. I always call him the greatest philosopher of the 20th century, and he had a pretty good explanation of religion, and it goes something like, religion has convinced people that there is an invisible man living up in the sky, and he can see everything you do every second of every day. And he's got his special list of things he does not want you to do. And if you do any of these things, he has a special place he's going to send you full of fire and smoke and burning and torture to spend all of your days just burning and choking in agony forever and ever until the end of time. But he loves you. What? I, no, sorry, not interested. I won't be participating in that today. And religious people they're so oblivious to the fact that not everybody thinks like they do. It's like they can't comprehend the fact that there are other points of view out there. And I think that's the worst part about it. They cannot accept the fact that not everybody got sucked into the same bullshit story that they did. And they think it's their responsibility to bring people to God or however you want to word it. And no, if somebody wants to find God or whatever, let them do it on their own. It's not your place. It's not your place to come knocking on my door at 8 a.m. on a Saturday. Have you found the Lord? I haven't been looking for him. I'm going back to bed. That's one of the worst parts is the people that feel they have the right to push their beliefs on other people. That's what I'm talking about when I say people that weaponize their faith. They use it as a way to somehow put themselves above other people and think that they're better than other people or they're no more than other people. No, you don't. And let's get into religious tenets for a minute. Things like the Ten Commandments. These are laws, for lack of a better word, supposedly set forth by whatever deity is being worshipped. And again, it always breaks down to obedience and control. And am I the only one who notices kind of a pattern with these religious laws, religious tenets, whatever you want to call them? The the deity, whoever it is, it always comes off as like hypocritical, vain, violent, vengeful, narcissistic. That's how most gods are portrayed. Why the hell would you follow something like that? I mean, me personally, I went to church till I was about 12 years old. That's the point where I figured out I don't believe this. I don't agree with this. The stuff that they're telling us that happened throughout history, no loving God should act like that, should treat people like that simply for not believing. Like, are you that vain and insecure that you have to wipe out anybody who doesn't believe in you? I want no part of it. That's the part where the good stuff about religion kind of gets outweighed by the bad. I mean, again, there are very good religious people out there who want nothing more than to live a good life and help other people, and I have no issue with them. But by the same token, there are people out there who the only reason they're following this religion is to avoid some kind of consequence, whether you call it hell or whatever name you put on it. That's their primary focus, is to not go to hell. What I don't know. Again, some of this stuff just does not make sense. And let's get into the concept of sin for a minute. Religious people will say to non-religious people or atheists or whatever you want to call them, "Oh, you're just living in sin." Well, no, sin is a religious thing. That's your thing. I don't believe in sin either. I don't believe in your God. I don't believe in your devil, heaven, hell, sin. Those are all religious concepts. Those concepts were all created by religion, and religion was created by man. Make no mistake, man created religion, i.e., man created God. That's my personal belief. Like I said, these things were created to explain what we didn't understand. Like, I don't know how that happened or where that came from. Must be God. Yeah, no. There are over 4,000 religions in this world, with thousands more denominations under those. And each one, every single one, thinks they're right and everybody else is wrong. Again, you can't all be right, but you can all be wrong. That's a possibility, but you can't all be right. But they are all convinced that their way is the way, and they will shove it down your throat. They will badger you unmercifully if you tell them you don't believe what they believe. They will, if you tell somebody that you're an atheist, "Oh, you're just angry at God." No, I don't believe that there is a God. That's the definition of atheism: lack of belief. oh, you know God exists. You're just angry because he didn't give you what you wanted. No, not angry. Not angry, not disappointed, not none of that. I just simply don't believe he exists or it exists or whatever. But they can't fathom, again, they cannot fathom the fact that somebody might not believe what they believe. And that is what I call religious arrogance. And there's a lot of it out there. And I want to reiterate again, I'm not directing this at decent religious people who, like I said, only want to live a good life, help other people. And no, I have no problem with those people. I have people like that in my family. One of my absolute best friends in the world is one of those people. They have undying faith in their God, and it helps them to improve their life and live a good life. I'm all for that. And they never come at me trying to convince me that I'm wrong. They are doing it the right way. That's the right way to do religion. Everybody's entitled to their beliefs. I'm not trying to take that away from anyone. There's a right way and wrong way to do it. If you're using your religion to attack somebody else's beliefs, you're wrong. If you are using your religion to tell somebody else what they think is wrong, hey, guess what? You're wrong. And I mean, religion has been the cause of countless wars and deaths throughout history, and it's still going on today. You know, people are so stuck in their faith and in their belief that they're willing to kill and die for this God that they've never seen, that they have no evidence of, that simply because a religious leader says so. That's mind-boggling to me. But just look throughout history at everything that has been caused by religion. The witch trials, the Salem witch trials, the Inquisitions in Europe, all because these people supposedly had a different belief. There was a book endorsed by the Vatican called the Malleus Maleficarum, loosely translated Hammer of the Witch, that broke down and explained how to hunt and kill witches. Endorsed by the Vatican. I'm going to say that again, endorsed by the Vatican. Hunt down and kill witches. Hunt down and kill people who don't follow our faith. Because that's what it was. Anybody who didn't follow that particular religion, anybody who deviated from the path, was labeled as a witch, a heretic, whatever it might be. This book taught people how to hunt them down, how to find them, how to identify them, and how to kill them. Look at the Holocaust. Millions upon millions of people wiped out because of their religion. Every conflict that happens in the Middle East, pretty much, is over religion, including the one that's going on right now. All because of religious differences. The Crusades. People trying to take back the Holy Land. All because of religion. The 9/11 attacks in New York. Religious extremists. Most acts of terrorism, for that matter, are religious in nature. People are doing it, they think, to appease their God in some way. The IRA, the Irish Republican Army in Ireland, that whole thing it's Catholics versus Protestants. They're both Christians, but they're different denominations, and one thinks the other is wrong. And So we're gonna blow shit up. And these people feel completely justified in what they're doing. They're willing to die for what they believe in, and more importantly, they're willing to kill for what they believe in. They don't care how many people they kill, how many innocent people are caught in the crossfire, because it's for their God. That to me is horrific. And it's because of stuff like that. I want nothing to do with religion. Absolutely nothing. I have my own personal set of beliefs, and some of it I've taken from different religions around the world. I've studied religion just as a hobby for many years, studied many different religions. And I think there are some good things to be taken from a lot of them. And that's kind of how I formed my system of belief personally. I don't have a belief in some overseeing, all powerful, all knowing God. That concept to me is just ridiculous. But there are certain philosophies and certain lessons from each one that I'll just kind of say, hey, I like this one. I'm going to hold on to this. So this will, this is a good philosophy to live by. This is a good lesson to keep in mind. I have a I don't know if you call it an altar, but I've got a little thing set up in my room that I use to meditate, to clear my mind, to center myself, to refocus. And there are elements on there from many different religions around the world, just to remind myself of this lesson or this philosophy or whatever it might be. So I do think some of them have some good things to say, but I'm not going to say any one of them is right, because to my mind, they're not. I I've said this before. I genuinely believe that organized religion should be outlawed. No, that's never going to happen, obviously. Like I said, people are allowed to believe whatever they want. People have the right to have whatever, follow whatever faith they choose, whatever works for them. But many of them take it too far. Religion is the most divisive and harmful concept ever created by humanity. And I will stand on that till my last breath. Simply because devoutly religious people, they have no concept of the difference between belief and knowledge, between opinion and fact, between truth and fact. Truth and fact are not the same thing. Truth is a point of view, truth is subjective. For a devout Christian, Jesus being the Son of God is the truth. For someone like me, not so much. I no, I personally don't believe in that. But for that devoutly religious person, they think that because it is truth for them, they think it's also a fact. It's not a fact. Facts can be proven. There's nothing about any religion that can be proven. And that's just the way it is. All of the supernatural type claims that every religion makes, none of that can be proven. You can't prove that there is a deity up in the sky watching over all of us. You can't prove that that this Messiah was killed and resurrected. There's no proof of any of this. The only place you hear about this is in their storybooks. That's not proof. But you can't tell that to a religious person. They just refuse to hear it. Like, nope, it says it in my book. It's fact. Eh, I just don't know it. Like I said, I find religion fascinating. but I also find it terrifying in a lot of ways, simply because of what people are willing to do for their faith. And that's why I say there are times I think religion should be outlawed. You still allow people to have their faith and everything, but get these churches off of every corner. Get, you know, I don't know. I don't know how it would be done because I don't want to take away people's right to believe what they want to believe, but I want organized religion to go away. And there's no realistic way to do that. And I understand that. It's not going to happen ever. But people need to realize religion is harmful. It can be helpful in certain ways to certain people, to its own people. No religion's going to help out people that don't follow that particular faith. But I personally, I think it does more harm than good. Like I said, it is the most divisive and most harmful concept ever created by humanity. And make no mistake, religion was created by humanity. I'll say it again, it was created to explain the things that they didn't understand, and it was created to control primitive people. It was made to frighten them. Religion is all about fear and guilt, used to control people and gain their obedience. And that's my opinion. Again, like it says at the beginning of every show, these are my opinions. I want everybody to think for themselves, but I want everybody to think. Use logic, use rational thought, use some critical thinking skills. And those are areas where religion is sorely lacking as well. There is no logic. There is no critical thinking. There's only, I have to follow my God. You're not allowed to think for yourself. And that to me is terrifying. And that's why I say every religion is a cult. Because there is no independent thought. It's not allowed. So I think that's probably going to wrap us up for this week. I am sure I have offended numerous people out there, and that's okay. But hopefully I've gotten through to somebody. Hopefully somebody will stop and think and say, he makes some good points. If not, that's okay. Again, my opinions, it's my show. But I would love to hear what anyone out there thinks of it, of the stuff that I've just been talking about. What's your take? Do you think religion is harmful? Do you think it does more harm than good the way I do? Or do you think I'm just over here spouting off a bunch of bullshit? Hey, if so, that's okay. Drop me some comments or something. Send me an email, whatever. But like I said, I'm going to wrap things up for right now. Thank you again to everybody for watching or listening on YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, wherever you get your podcasts from. Make sure to follow, like, subscribe, share, rate, comment, all that kind of good stuff. Really helps out the show. Like I said before, I know I've been gone for a while. I'm going to try to get back on a regular recording schedule to get out weekly episodes. Hopefully, in a perfect world, they'd be coming out every week on Saturdays like they're supposed to. But yeah, make sure you guys are following on social media. It's at DILLIGAF_pod on all the social media platforms. And if you want to shoot me an email, it's dilligafpod@gmail.com. And you can find all that on my Linktree, which is Linktree/dilligaf_pod, or scan the QR code right here if you're watching the video. Again, thank you to everybody for checking out the show. And like I said, drop me some comments, shoot me an email, something. Let me know what you guys think. I've been wanting to do this particular show for a while because, like I said, religion fascinates me, but also terrifies me simply because of things that people are willing to do for their faith. And it is very divisive because everybody every different religion thinks that they're right and everybody else is wrong. And that does nothing but create conflict. And that's, you see the state of things, like I said, in the Middle East, what's going on right now, it's a religious thing. Because one doesn't worship the same invisible man as the other. It's mind-boggling to me. But again, let me know what you guys think. Thank you for checking out the show. I should be back next week with another episode, hopefully. I know I've been really sporadic with these since I started this new podcast, but I want to get back on track and start getting stuff out regularly. So stick with me, please. And just to wrap things up, if anyone out there has any issues with anything that I have said here today, ask yourself one question. Do I look like I give a fuck?
'Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want